Hey guys, how are y'all today? I'm going to take my L785 New Holland skid steer and I'm going to load this trailer over here with spar bales. I'm going to use a WR long grapple and I'm going to speed it up so it don't take so long to watch, and we'll see how it turns out. So I hope you enjoy and we'll see you at the end. Alright, I thought I'd throw a little commentary in here so y'all would know kind of what's going on as I'm doing this. So what I'm doing right now is there's a few packs of hay on top that the tie bales, which are the bales on the end that are turned sideways, they are facing away from the skid steer on the top layer. It just worked out that way because I used some of the bales that were on top of those bales on another load. So I'm just getting those out of the way so I can start with tie bales that are closest to the skid steer loader. And that's how I like to start out with. I like to put the bottom layer on the trailer with the tie bales towards the skid steer, because that makes it to where the last bales that I put on the trailer are also towards the skid steer, which is the highest bales to reach, and they can cause problems when you're reaching all the way as high as you can, and you have the bales away from you. It just causes problems for some reason. It makes it more difficult. So what I'm doing on this bottom layer, you can see I have the tie bales facing the skid steer on the trailer, and I put about 6 inches of space in between each of those packs, and that's going to help me get the taper on the back of the load to work out right. So I need a taper towards the front of the trailer. So what I'm saying is, as I step this hay up, each step layer that I go up, I need to move the hay towards the front about 1 inch or 2 inches. So when I'm stacked all the way to the top, that there is a lean towards the front of the trailer. The back of the stack of hay needs a lean on it towards the front of the trailer so it doesn't fall over backwards. It's just the same principle as stacking it by hand. You would want a taper like that even if you were stacking it by hand. So the second layer I put on, I put the tie bales away from the skid steer, and now this third layer I'm putting the tie bales again back towards the skid steer again. So what I'm doing right now is I'm going around and checking the tie bales that are on the far side of the trailer to make sure none of them got knocked off the trailer while I was putting that layer on there. Because what happens is, when the tie bales are away from you, you can't see what they're doing, and you set them on there, sometimes you may knock one off the trailer, and it'll cause a problem if you don't go over there and realize it, because you'll have this hole in your stack of hay, and if you stack the whole load, you have to unstack it to fix that one bale. You can't get it back in there, and it won't support the load right, and it causes some issues. So I learned that by experience. I always go around and check about every other layer. You go around and check. Now what I'm doing now is I put the ramps down on the trailer, and I picked up a half a pack of hay, and I'm getting ready to pick up another half a pack of hay. And what I'm doing is, you can't put a whole stack of hay a whole pack of hay on the very back of the on the back of the pop-up deck on the back of this gooseneck. So, but a half a pack will fit, so you can split them in half and just put half pack on at a time, and it works great. I used to do that by hand. I used to pack them on there by hand, and then I realized, hey, why don't I just grab half of a pack and stack it just like I do the rest of the trailer. So I've done that ever since, and it works great. So it saves me a lot of, well, not a lot of labor, but it saves me a little labor, and it was difficult to stack that hay on the back by hand because it would get up so high you just couldn't reach it anymore. You'd have to climb up the ramps and try to stack it up there. It was just a pain in the butt. So you see me adjust that bale a little bit. You see me okay, I'm getting ready to grab another stack off a different pack of hay. That stack that I just left over there, I got all the second cutting off of it. All that's left in that far stack I was getting them out of is first cutting, but I wanted a load of second cutting, so that's what I'm getting here now. And I tilted it over there to look at the bottom of the hay, and I seen one that had some mold, so I'm going over to inspect that. Now, the one that had the mold, I pulled it out, and I took it to the cows later on, and it only had one little spot in it. It wasn't very bad. I probably could have sent it on and it wouldn't have been an issue, but I seen it, so I pulled it out. And if there is any, if she does, my customer, if she finds any mold in my hay, I do buy them back. If she'll bring them back to me, I buy them back, and then I sell them to a cattle farmer at a cheaper price. And you know, I tell them it has mold in it, and most of the time they don't have any trouble with that. So yeah, but if she wants to keep them, if she can, I trust her to tell me whether it has mold or not. And it's not very often, but if she wants to keep them, I just knock like half the cost of the hay off and put it onto the next hay she buys. So that's the kind of the deal that I work. I think she's brought back 16 bales in 5 years. So that's not too bad. I normally sell her between 4,000 and 5,000 bales a year. I'm putting some more on the back, readjusting. Okay, that was just a pack that was sitting up there that didn't have all the bales in it, so I just set it out of the way. And you noticed all the bales that I set over there out of the way from the first part of this video, I've used almost all of them now. By just splitting them up and putting them as half packs on the back. So that worked out pretty good to do it that way. So we're on the 5th layer now, and the tie bales are facing the skid steer. And then the 6th layer, they'll be facing away, and then the last layer will be the 7th layer, and they'll be facing the skid steer again. Now, I learned all this just by trial and error, how to do this. It took me a long time. I didn't have anybody to help me, so I'm hoping that maybe this video will help somebody with these tips. Hopefully maybe it'll help somebody to learn a little faster than I did. It took me a couple years to get to where I could efficiently load a load of hay and get it to stay on there and everything work correctly. Now once you get this hay stacked above the headache rack on the front of this trailer, you have to start staggering it back. Just like on the back of the trailer you stagger it forwards, on the front of the trailer you have to stagger it back. So this is the very last package, so I can just barely reach it. And I adjust it a little bit. That's all the skid steer will reach. And it's about as high as you really need to go anyway to make it ride good. It's 7 layers high. I've never tried to go any higher than that, but I just don't think it would ride very well. I don't think it would be over height. You can go up to 13.6, but I really don't think it would be over height. Alright, so I'm getting ready to park this thing over here, and I'm going to show you a little bit about this stack of hay up close. So stick around for that. We'll talk to you in a second. Alright, if you made it this far, you just watched me load 245 bales onto this gooseneck and not touch nary one of them. The trickiest part to doing this is to getting this back part of the trailer tapered forward so it won't fall over backwards very easy. And of course, lots of straps help that too. The other trick to doing this is a 10 bale grabber over there that I just parked. And each layer you go up, put the tie bale on the opposite side. You see there's a tie bale right here, 2 bales long ways. Then when you go up to the next layer, put the tie bale here, 2 long bales that way. Then when you go to the next, put the tie bale here, 2 long bales that way. So the grabber picks up 10 bales at a time. So you got 2, 4, 6, 8, and then you got 2 turned sideways on the other end, and that makes 10. So yeah, it works really well for a one-man operation, I'll tell you that. It would have took 40 minutes for 3 or 4 people to load this load by hand. So, and the skid steer works really good to do this in tight quarters. It tears up the ground some, but ain't nothing a bucket can't smooth out in just a few minutes. We actually have asphalt grindings in this building. So far, that's the best thing I've seen to put in here. We had crusher run, and we've had 57s in here, and they get so dusty you can't even drive that skid loader around in here without wearing a dust mask, and it just gets terrible. But these asphalt grindings seem to absorb moisture. They absorb anything, and they don't really get dusty. So if you have a dust problem in your barn, try some asphalt grindings if you can find some. They seem to work pretty good for us anyway. So all right, well, that's going to be it for this video, guys, and hope you liked it. Give me a thumbs up if you did. We'll see you in the next video. Peace out.